Is it fair to ask a woman who has been emotionally abused, narcissistically abused, to do her part? Well, it depends. Depends on her decision. And one of the things I want you to think about, if you are a woman who has been emotionally and narcissistically abused, I want you to think about whether you are deciding to stay in this relationship or not, or whether you want to really work on saving your marriage or not and doing your part in that. And you certainly don't have to. I'm Dr. David Hawkins, director of the Marriage Recovery Center, where we specialize in narcissistic and emotional abuse. And this video is for women who are choosing. They're choosing for now to stay in the marriage. They're choosing for now to work on their marriage and to do their part to recover and heal, and yes, maybe even take steps that might be helpful in saving their marriage. And I know this is a challenging proposition, and my goodness, we're not at all saying that you should stay in the relationship. That's such a unique decision, such an important decision for you to make, but that decision will guide everything else. Now, what do I mean by that? That decision, whether you decide to stay for now in your marriage and whether you want to do your part now in healing things. That's such an important and critical decision. Are we saying that you're responsible for the emotional abuse? Not at all. Not at all. It's never okay to be emotionally abused, narcissistically abused. Never okay. Never okay. And he is responsible for what he has done. Now, that said, I want you to think about whether you want to do your part to save their marriage. I'm going to tell you a quick story. A year and a half ago, I was at a restaurant in Mexico with my good friend and colleague Lee, and he ordered in Spanish. And I looked at him and I said, I want to learn to order like that in Spanish. And he said, no, you don't. And I was shocked, and I said, well, yes, I do. I want to learn to speak Spanish the way you do. He said, no, you don't. And I was irritated, wondering, okay, what's he doing? What's he up to? I said, why do you say that? He said, well, are you taking Spanish lessons? Well, no. Are you watching Spanish telenovelas? No. Are you working with Duolingo every day to sharpen your skills? No. And he made his point. So I thought that I could magically learn Spanish. And that's not the way it is. Well, the same is true for our marriages. We're not going to learn the skills necessary by osmosis. We've got to practice those skills. We've got to identify what's missing. And then we need some expert guidance to help us determine the best path forward. Now, notice I injected into this expert guidance. We're never going to find our way on our own. You're never going to find your way on your own. You're not going to be able to heal together from narcissistic and emotional abuse on your own. It can't happen. You need expert guidance, someone who will look at you and help you discern and discover what it is that you're doing that sabotages your best efforts. Now, you may be thinking, I am doing my part. Most think that. Most think that they're doing their part. And yet, when we, the experts at Marriage Recovery Center, when we step back and watch what's really happening, actually, rarely are couples healing together from narcissistic and emotional abuse. And that brings me to my next point. If you decide that for now you're going to stay in this marriage, if you decide for now you want to do your part, then it means that you will seek and receive expert guidance from someone who steps outside of matters and looks at your part in the marriage, his part in the marriage. What is he doing that's destructive? What is she doing that's destructive? What is she doing that's helpful? What is he doing that's helpful? And identifying those things. So with expert guidance, and by the way, you must have expert guidance. You must. You cannot heal together from narcissistic and emotional abuse on your own. You can't do it. I know that's an emphatic statement on my part, but we've seen couples who meander their way through a chaotic relationship, and you know how easy it is to get lost in your marriage, how easy it is to feel like you're just reacting from one situation to the next. Reactivity won't get you to where you want to go. All right, so with expert guidance, then you will discover the next truth. And the truth is, when we change, everything changes. What a beautiful statement, like a mobile. And if you think about a mobile, all these different pieces to the mobile, and when one part in the mobile changes, all other pieces change. And that's the way it is in our relationships. When we grow, when we mature, when we manage our emotions, when we set healthy boundaries, when we grow emotionally and show up in a healthier way, all of our relationships will be positively impacted. And when I'm functioning in my best self, others around me will tend to function in their best selves too. Now, notice I didn't say that they will always function in their best selves, but that's the way it works. It's a law, and that is when I function from my best self, more often than not, others around me will do the same. Not always, but often. The place that you're in is the place that you're in. And what I tell the couples and individuals that I work with is, I want you to show up to whatever is in front of you in the most effective way possible. You're choosing to be where you are today, and that is fine. Choose it, embrace it, be wherever you are. You may not choose to stay there tomorrow, next week, next month, next year, but today you are where you are. Choose to show up in the best way you possibly can, and embrace it. Know that this is a good place to work on what you want to work on for today. All right, if you're looking for some expert guidance, some help, maybe someone who will help you discover what the next best step in your path is, contact our client care team at the Marriage Recovery Center. They are ready to answer your questions. They'll help you discover the path forward for you for today. All right, God bless.